Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today we're going to be taking a look at the July 2024 Going Gear EDC Club Premium subscription. This is your first time seeing this one. They do offer two tiers to this subscription. Your standard, which is $60 a month plus shipping. That one gets you 2 to 5 EDC items each month, or you can opt for the premium, which is $200 a month plus shipping. Gets you everything that comes in the standard club, as well as at least one additional premium EDC item. So let's dive in, see what they sent over for July of 2024. As usual, I'll have everything unpacked so you don't have to watch me fumbling with packaging. We'll get that out of the way and start with the least expensive item in our standard this month, which is from a company called Harlow Road. This is a 5-pack of wooden Mosquito balls valued at $12.95. Now, right when I pulled this one out of its envelope, could immediately smell that citronella, so I had a pretty good guess of what's in here. Even though they come in a sealed Ziploc bag, that citronella smell is so strong that it's seeping out of there. So hopefully we'll do a good job of repelling the mosquitoes. Did pull one of them out of the packaging so you can see what that looks like. It's just a wooden ball about an inch or so in diameter. I'd say maybe a hair larger than that, but about an inch or so in diameter. They have a nice description on the packaging, so we can just read through that. Harlow Road citronella scented wood balls are a safe, flameless, and waxless alternative to repel mosquitoes while camping, backpacking, fishing, anything outdoors. Place it in your backpacks, tents, and pockets. It is a choking hazard and may discolor fabrics, so don't put these balls in your mouth. Maybe not in your pockets either if you care about them getting discolored. If you have expensive gear, I wouldn't risk it because it doesn't say if that discoloration is permanent or something that'll wash out, so maybe put them somewhere else if you care about that discoloration. But otherwise, I think this is more of a camping item than an EDC item. Still don't hate seeing it in there. I think an okay value at $12.95. They do a pretty good job of valuing them for exactly what you're going to find them on the site in the letters, so you know that they're not inflated. And like most people, I'm not a fan of mosquitoes, so I'll probably get my use out of them. I'll definitely give them a shot, and if they work, then I'll definitely use them. So don't hate seeing that in there, but not going to let it get past me that they did send a sack of smelly balls to their members this month. Now, next up in our standard is from QSP. This model is the Ripley, and if you haven't seen this one before, that's because it's actually not out. So valued at $75, not going to be available for purchase until August 1st. So EDC Club members are getting early access, which is kind of a cool perk. So obviously the main perk of subscribing to these is being surprised with new gear each month and hopefully getting more value than what you paid. So you get everything at a slight discount. But I love seeing like exclusives, early access, because it's just added perks to kind of add to the incentives to subscribe to these boxes. So this one's a design by Keanu Alfarno. Designer I'm not familiar with, but definitely has a unique aesthetic if we're basing it off this single design with this claw mark across the G10 scales. OD green on mine, not sure if there will be other colors, but those gouges are not just discolorations in the G10, they actually are crevices, so they add a little bit of texturing as well, which is kind of cool. G10 on the scales, and we have their crossbar style lock, which they're calling their glide locking mechanism on ceramic ball bearings. Nice smooth action on here. Thumb stud deployment. We have a 3.5-inch 14C28N drop point style blade and super smooth action. Decent looking knife. It's a larger one at 8 inches overall, 3.5 inches on the blade, and then 8 inches overall. Weighs in at 3.6 ounces. This isn't one that if I saw it online I would probably purchase. It's not necessarily my aesthetic, and it's a little bit bigger than I typically go after, but I do love seeing that sort of stuff in these subscription boxes because it gets you out of your comfort zone, and maybe you end up finding a knife that you wouldn't have bought otherwise that you end up loving. So too early to say if that's going to be the case here, but I do like that aspect of it. I'm not always expecting to get something that I love right out of the box. Definitely an interesting aesthetic to this one. You can see this kind of aggressive jimping along the back as well for that grip. The grip is fairly comfortable. I'm able to get all 4 fingers around it. No real hot spots, and those gouges do keep your fingers from sliding around. I feel them a little bit, so it does make me curious if after some extended use those end up being a hot spot. But out of the box, the ergos are pretty comfortable. We have a nice reversible deep carry pocket clip with a plug in it on the side that is not on, so going to be a very ambidextrous friendly with that crossbar style locker, their glide locking mechanism, and the dual-sided thumb studs, reversible pocket clip, so nice for lefties as well. And again, valued at $75. So those were the only 2 items we got in our standard box this month. Brings the value of that to $87.95, which is just about 150% of the $60 we paid. Not quite, but right there knocking on the door. So pretty happy with that valuation. Now, in our premium, we only got one item this month as well. This is from We Knife. The model is called the Wrecker, which has a capital R at the beginning and end every time they write it. So probably an intentional choice. It is a palindrome. So definitely seems like that is an intentional choice in that model name. Valued at $216.75. Good looking knife. This one definitely appeals to my aesthetic a little bit more. It has this diamond texturing on that black titanium handle with the stonewash over the coating. So has this real cool finish to it. Meshes well with those gold accents or those bronze accents on the pivot and hardware. And so that looks really great. You can see our backside has a frame lock. None of the texturing on there, so just kind of a smooth surface, but looks great as well. We do get that reversible deep carry on this one as well. No plug on this one, so interesting that the budget has a plug and the premium one doesn't. Do have a lanyard hole there on the back. We had that on the Ripley as well. Flipper tab with a hole in it, kind of an interesting look to it. Reverse Tonto on that blade, same kind of finish on the blade as well with that stonewash coated blade. Reverse Tonto style blade, CPM 20 CV. Now they didn't give the dimensions on this one, but you can see it's very similar to our Ripley, if not just a hair larger. So I'm guessing this one's just a little bit over 8 inches overall. We'll definitely get those measurements when we do the video on this one. Again, valued at $216.75, so a little bit more of a premium. Does have this frame lock, great action. You can see that drops right shut. A little bit of a shake gets you the rest of the way. Feels like this one's probably on bearings as well, although I'm not certain. One thing I noticed almost straight away, we have this jimping on the flipper tab that makes it really easy to latch onto. Flips out of there nicely, but you do feel that in your grip. So that jimping is now touching my pointer finger here. And so if you're right up on top of it, it kind of catches. It's pretty aggressive jimping, so that may be an issue with extended use as well. If you stay off of it, obviously not an issue, but kind of a weird placement for that jimping in the open position. But otherwise, cool to see this one in here. Like I said, this one appeals to my aesthetic just a little bit more, and I think it's a cool knife. So overall, our premium ends up at a value of $304.70. So over our 150% mark, which I like to use as a value or as a basis for the value. So happy with that. Two really great knives. Definitely a knife heavy month. I'd really say this is a 2-item month with a throw in. Definitely going to try out those Mosquito balls as well. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one down in the comments below. Which of the knives was your favorite this month? If you liked either of them, if you didn't like either of them, anything else you'd like to comment. Always enjoy interacting in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, or joining the channel as a member. All help the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.